Hello guys, welcome to my new YouTube video. In this video, I'll be discussing about the basic concepts of C++ and the basic introduction how C++ is derived from C, and then the concepts present in C++. I will be making a full playlist on C++ in which all the contents present in C++ will be I'll be showing the and real life. With the help of Dev C++ programming and with the help of examples. In this video, I'll be discussing only about the introduction, like what is C++ and how it is different from C, and what are the features in C, and what is OOPS concepts, and coming to what is object and class, and I'll be discussing all this in this YouTube video. Okay, let's move on to our video. Contents. First, I'll be discussing about the difference between C and C++, and then introduction to C++, and the features in OOPS, and C structure versus C++ structure, what is the difference between them, and then C++ structure versus class, what is the main differences between them and what are the similarities between them, and how to define a class and object. This sixth question I will be performing the dev C++ with the help of a simple example. Okay, and what are the new data types present in a C++ when compared to C? Okay, so let's move on to first question. What is the difference between C and C++? Why we need C++? So, as we know, C is an procedural language. Okay, C is a procedural language in which we have the functions. But the main concept to develop C++ is to for the data security. In C, we don't have data security for the member functions. Anyone can access the data members present in a procedure language functions. There is no such certain restrictions in C. So whereas compared to in C++, there is a high data security. For example, if you are going for a bank or something, there is a high security for accessing the money or account balance, right? So at that application, C++ will be very useful. And coming to second point, procedure oriented, whereas it comes in C++ it is object oriented. In C all the process will be in the form of procedure, the step by step, but here object oriented. With the help of classes and objects we are going to perform the C program. And in C there are no access specifiers. Access specifiers are private, public and protected, whereas in C++ there are three access specifiers. Before I mentioned public, protected and private, whereas in C there are no such specifiers are present. And in C, with the help of functions we are going to write a large program. If we are having a program of 500 to 600 lines, with the help of in C, with the help of functions we are going to write, whereas in a C++, with the help of classes and objects we are going to simply write a program complexity with the help of simple and easy. Let's move on to our second question. What is C++? C++ is a general or multi-purpose. It is an high level language and compiler based. Okay, and coming to our second point, C supports OOPS. Okay, what is OOPS? OOPS is an object oriented programming system. Here, what here after this concept we'll be discussing about what is OOPS and OOPS concept, but let us stick with C++ and what is what is the introduction of C++? Okay, it supports it. No, we say that C++ support OOPS, but it not fully supports OOPS. It is not fully supporting 100% of OOPS compared to Java. Java supports OOPS with the percentage of 100, whereas C++ supports, but it is not supporting up to the 100%. Okay, with C++ we can create an operating system, for example like Unix and we can create an editors, for example Word and Notepad. With the help of stacks we can undo or redo. With the help of C++ we are going to use in the commercial applications. For example, before I mentioned that banks and supermarkets, if you are going for a bank, we need high data security, right, for a account and for all the information that we attain. Or not only that, if you are having an personal uh, for example, if we say Ethereum or some any cryptocurrency. I mean, for that, banks or UPI, we have to have high security, right? For that, we are going to use C++. And for PC and mobile application, we have already played Mario, right? That is made with the help of C++ language. And for protocols, whenever we open a website with the HTTP, these are called as hypertext uh, text line protocols. I mean, with C++, we are going to create this. Okay, this is the main simple and basic introduction of C++. And these are the applications of C++. And it accepts supports OOPS concepts. And not only that, C++ also gives many job opportunities. I mean, learning this is a very great opportunity to get a good package. And also DBMS, I mean, C++ also contains database management system, for example Oracle and SQL server. And it also helps libraries and cloud computing. In C++, we also have a STL standard templates library. In that, many predefined objects are libraries are already present. Okay, what are the features in OOPS? Before move on to what is OOPS, features in OOPS, what is OOPS? I mean, OOPS has a total six different of features, in which object oriented program. Here in OOPS, with the help of objects and classes, we are going to define a large, very complex program in simple manner. Here in OOPS, all the, I mean, I'm repeating again, in OOPS, a program is divided into the objects and classes. So with that, we are going to make an program. So that is called OOPS. And what are the main features is class, objects, and inheritance, data abstraction, encapsulation, and polymorphism. Okay, first let's move on to first feature, class. What is a class? Okay, in class, we are going to define the data members and member functions. Okay, so why it is different from C structure? Okay, in C structure, we are not having a public private, right? But here, the main the main concept in C++ is for the data heading. So the data members whatever present in our class should be very secure and with high security. So that's why in class, the data members are always in private mode. And member functions will also always be in the, either they can be in private mode or public mode. So if you want to extract the data, so only with the help of public mode we are going to extract the data, but we are not going to extract the data from our main function with the help of a private. Okay, let's move on to object. Object is a representation, or a physical representation of class. I mean, whatever, it defines the class with the help of a physical representation. Okay, let's move on to what is data abstraction. Abstraction, it is the meaning of data hiding. So we have discussed in our class, right? So the data which should present in the data members, that should be very secure and very high level. I mean, these data cannot be accessed by any other class or any other member function uh, from the other class. Only these data can be accessed by the member function of the same class only. Okay, after that, encapsulation. Encapsulation, it is a process of binding data members and member variables in a single unit called as class. Such concepts is called as encapsulation. Let's move on to polymorphism. Polymorphism is, the name itself says poly is many and morphism is taking many forms. So many forms. So when an class is created, or a constructor is created with the same name, we can perform many different actions. For example, sum is there. If you are going to perform the sum, integer sum, it is going to add the integers. But if you are going to add the strings, it is not possible, because with the help of plus operator we cannot add strings, right? With the help of string function concatenation, we are going to perform string addition, right? But with the help of polymorphism, with the help of overriding, we can simply add two strings with the help of polymorphism. Okay, what is inheritance? Inheritance is the concept of deriving an class from an existing class, such as base class. In inheritance, we have different five different types. I mean, single, multiple, and multipurpose, and hierarchical, and hybrid. So there are five different types of classes. I mean, one class is derived from another class, and another class is derived from another class. This, I mean, two classes are derived from a single class. These types of different types of entities are present that we'll be discussing in our later sections. Okay, this is our basic introduction. Okay, after that, difference between C and C++ structure, right? Okay, in C only we have only the data members. There is no member functions. Okay, it consists of data members, and it consists of data members and member functions. Here member functions are used to take the, I mean, to assign or to abstract the data members which are present in the class. Okay, in structure members are public. Okay, in C structures the data members are public, whereas in C++ structure the data members can be public, private, or protected. Okay, as we have discussed in C++, the main motto is to keep the data members as private, right? So the what do we say, the default, okay, the default is public. Let's move on to C++ structure and class. Okay, first we have checked C and C++ structure. Okay, almost all the concepts that are present in C we can use in C++. Okay, C is an, I mean, structure is a user defined data type, right? So in C++ also it is a user defined data structure, but we have to modify some of the C++ structure so that data heading is possible. So for that we are going to moving for the class, or else if there is no need of data hiding, we can simply use a C++ structure. But our main motto is for the data heading, right? So that's what we are going to use for the classes. Okay, let's move on to C++ structure and class. Okay, the first point is the default data members are public. So here listen, the default data members are public, the default data members are private. As we have discussed, the main motto is to data members should be in very I mean, should be hidden. I mean, it cannot be accessed by any other member variable or any other class, right? So the default, if you're not going to write any public, or I mean, if you're not going to assign anything public, protected, or public, private, or protected, if you are not going to initialize, even though it will take the default as private, so we cannot we cannot take the data members from another functions, I mean, out of the class. Okay, these not participate in inheritance. Okay, so with the help of C++ structure we cannot participate in inheritance. I mean, we cannot derive a class C++ structure from another base C++ structure, but in class we can simply derive a class with the help of inheritance operator, and first class, and then class name and inheritance operator, and then whatever the public, if we are going for the public data members that are present in a base class, that public, and then a base class name. Okay, simple programs, C++ are used to simple programs, and class are used for complex programs. Here members are public. This is the same concept. I mean, in C++ structure members are public, private, and protected, and here members are public, private, and protected. This is an same similarity. Okay, here we are going for the sixth question, defining a class and object. Okay, I'll be discussing about a simple program in C++ that will help you to understand what is a class and what is an object, and what are the data members and data functions that we are going to use. Okay, for a beginner, in dev C++ we are going to use hash include iostream dot h. Actually we use dot h, I mean, input and out, output stream dot h, in which all the header files are present. But in dev c++ we are not going to use header files. We are simply using namespace std. Okay, and then after this we are going to create a class. For example, this is our class. For example, our class name is c++, or else irshad. This is our class. And one more thing, class should always ends with a semicolon. These are the rules. And after the class, the data members and data function should only present in a only inside the class. If we want to make the data functions outside the class, there is an another process. I mean, data functions can inside, which are inside the class, are called as inline functions. The data members which are outside the class are called as outline functions. Okay, here we have created a class named Irshad. Okay, after that we are going to assign the data members, right? Which is class is a combination of data members and member functions. So first, if you are going for the data members, we have to give access specifiers. I mean, we have three different access specifiers, right? Public, private, or protected. So these are the three different. If you want for the public, we can simply use public and colon. If you want for private, we can use private colon. And then if you are going to use protected, we are going to use protected and then colon. Okay, first I'll be discussing about public. And public means uh, if a data is present in a public, I mean it can be accessed by any person or any other function. Okay, in int, if for example in main function, if you are going to know the data of our class, with the help of public only we are going to get, because private which is impossible. I mean it is a rule in C++ that we cannot access the data of private members with the help of another function, or called as another class or another function which is outside the class, and we cannot directly access with the help of main function also. So only we are going to initialize the data members in private. And protected is an important part. Protected means it will be public on to in this class. If you want to, with the help of inheritance, if you want to get the data from a base class, with the help of protected we can take the data from the protected, that will still be protected in our derived class, but only with when these are into the protected. Okay, these are the three access modifiers. Okay, I'll be starting from, so before that I've said that there is no rule for writing private, right? Because whenever we are going to write like that, for example in take a movie, these two data members are taken as the private, so default data members in class are private. Okay, after that, if we want to access that, we are going to use public, because only the only way to access these data members is with the help of member functions. For example, void get ab, I mean we are going to read the two variables with the help of cin. Okay, I'll be discussing what is cin and cout. Okay, so get ab, so this is a member function, and this is a data variables. Before that we have discussed, okay, let me complete this. Okay, we are going to get the data, and then we are going to print it. Put ab cout a b. Okay, this is also a member function. And then I'm going to create an object with the help of class name Irshad. This is my class name. I'll be creating I, and I dot get a, and I'll be printing I dot get b. Would be, that's it. Okay, so let's start again. So these a and b are private members, so we cannot directly access from the main function, that's why we are going to use objects. Okay, so in public, so to access these private member functions, with the help of member functions we are going to access it. So these are the two member functions. For example, void getab, whenever we are calling this getab function, cin means input stream, that is whatever we are going for the, for example in scanf we are going to take, for example for integer percentage d, for a float percentage f, and for double ld. But in c in we can give any type of data. I mean if it is int, if it is float, it will simply take. For example, if you are going to use, I'm using here float b, right? So there is no change in this, because it will take, I mean implicitly it will change the member into in its own. I mean it will take any type of uh, primitive data type. Okay, that's it. Here we are calling, okay, this is our member functions. here we are going to scan A and B. After that, with the help of void put AB, we are simply printing A and B. That's it. Okay, cout also a outstream member function. This is not a member function. Cout is an modifier. Okay, modifier functions we'll be discussing later. Cout and cin will be in the modifier functions. Okay, after that we have closed the class with a semicolon. After that we have created a main function. In that we are with the help of class name is Irshad, right? Irshad, and this is an object, I mean I is an object. Okay, after I have created object, right, with the class name. Object is created. After the object creation, I want to read this, so I'm simply with the help of dot operator. Dot operator is to connect the object and the member functions. I mean, with the help of dot we are simply connected the object and member function. So I is an object and get data, get ab is an member function. So whenever I'm using dot, it will simply, this function will move on to this part. Okay, void get ab, c in ab, so it will read a and b values. After that, it this block is completed, right? So it will be exited. After that, I dot put ab, so this will directly with the help of dot membership, right? I mean the object and the member function, so it will simply print a comma b. This is in simple process. I'll be executing this first. Okay, for example, and 10 and then 1.5. See, 10 and 1.5. And we are having, in C we are having slash and end, right? But in C++ we are having endl and ends. Endl, endl. Okay, if you want more clear, I'll be writing enter a comma b values. 10 and 10.5. 10 and 10.5 are printed. So this is the basic simple program that will start up our, I mean it will give a ignition to a C++ course. uh, okay, I'll be providing this code in my description. Please look onto that. And let's move on to our next question. New data types in C++. Okay, in C++, we have uh, increased, I mean it is not same as C, right? So for the new purpose, I mean for new applications, we have increased the data types. For example, in primitive data types we are integer, float and character, but in C++ we have a new primitive data types called as boolean. And coming to our derived data types, we have arrays and pointers, right? But in reference, we have in C++ we have added the reference data types. And coming to our user defined data types, structures and unions are user defined data types. But we have discussed class before, right? Class is also a user defined data type. Okay, that's it for our video. I mean, I hope you all got the basic introduction what is C++ and how C++ program works, and what is an oops and what are the concepts of oops. And in the next video I'll be discussing more about I mean oops concepts, and I'll be performing actions on member functions, and how to write the member functions inside and outside, and how to return the object type parameters and return type parameters. Okay, so stay tuned for this course. I hope you all like this video. So if you like this video, please like and share, and if possible please comment. Thank you.